So everyone has been angry at me for decades um, because I never took out a mortgage on my house. There's always been some severe jealousy from neighbors, my sister, my ex-husband, DCS workers, various other people, even the code enforcement officer, because I don't have any worries. Well, tell you a little tale. I only work on my house as finances allow. Well, a few years ago, Teddy didn't like the fact that my house started looking better than the two houses he owned next to mine. He took out a very large mortgage to keep up with the Joneses. That's what the game is called. Make his houses look better than mine. That's what the game is called. Keep up with the Joneses. Well, he continued to get his enforcers installed into his houses, trying to force me out of my house. But hard-headed veteran that I am, I still didn't take the bait. It finally caught up with him. He had placed the whole enterprise in the hands of his son, Eric Inman, who mismanaged it badly. And I found out that not only did he lose these two houses, but a few other houses in Bradford. Mismanaged the whole enterprise. That's why you do not. That's why it is wiser not to have mortgages and take out immense loans. Apparently, he owed $80,000 on these two houses and was not making the payments. Of course, from what I was told about his most recent enforcer that he was trying to get me, that he was using to try to get me out of the house, Maria Lehman, the one who was screaming that on the phone constantly that I was living in his house and she was going to have me evicted, even though it wasn't true. Teddy's never owned my house. That she was living rent free in the house. Well, that's not a way to make your mortgage payment. And she was there over a year, about a year and a half. That is not a way to make your mortgage payment. So sad. So now the houses are up for sale again, and feels kind of nice knowing there won't be any more enforcers. Feel kind of bad though for Ron because Ron was actually a decent neighbor. He had no warning. They just came and tossed him on his ear. That was sad. That was a sad one to see. He had like maybe 24-hour notice, which I think that's got to be illegal. That is why I do things the wise way. I don't have a mortgage. Yes, I do have a small loan, but my house is not collateral. And I pay on my loan every month as a way to build my credit. And it has gone up into the mid 600s, which is a far cry better than the low 400s where Lamont dumped me by misusing my credit without my permission. And I would still tell my children, check your credit. Especially after his new wife, or his third wife, I don't know if they're still married because of everything I've been seeing, got busted with 12 counts of credit or fraud and theft. Aurora said she already caught on that someone bought a car on her credit, and she had to challenge that. Gee, I wonder who that was. Hmm. She's doing very well for herself. I'm proud of her. You see, she and her significant other. I am very, very proud of her. Both of my daughters have gotten into very good lives, which I am very proud of them for how they started out life with their abusive father. I'm very, very proud of my daughters. And all three of us, when we saw that he had been incarcerated up in Steuben County, well, let's just say he wouldn't be getting bailed out by his first family. If Marissa did, well, that's on her. Mm-hmm. So